It's opening day of deer season in Washington, 2017. It's about 18 degrees, and I have a 60-pound pack on my back hiking into the backcountry at 2 a.m. for 3 days in the backcountry by myself. Most people would consider this insanity. However, for me, it's become the regular norm. It's all part of the adventure. You might ask yourself, what would drive this madman to hike up a mountain by himself in the middle of the night, all for a deer? For me, it's never been just about a deer. It's been about what I've learned along the way and the adventures that I've had in the process. The time that I've been able to reflect on my life, how I've learned how to grow as a hunter, outdoorsman, and as a person. The story of this madness called blacktail hunting started a few years ago for me. I had invested hours and hours of time scouring maps, glassing countryside, and looking for areas to hunt. I'll never forget the first time that it happened. I was exploring a new area, and there he was. I had seen my share of bucks before this, but this is the first time that I had one stop me in my tracks. A mature alpine blacktail, miles into the backcountry, and one that had probably never seen a human. That buck became the driving force that drove me out of bed at ridiculous hours in the morning and sent me up the mountain in the middle of the night. Day after day that fall I spent looking for that buck. I had a couple close encounters with him with my bow later that year, but he disappeared once rifle season came. And he always seemed to be one step ahead of me, and I never was able to harvest him, although he was my obsession for 3 years, and he eventually died of old age. As it is so often in life, it's not your success that defines you, it's how you respond to your mistakes. The success and failures of that first season are another story altogether. I'm a very determined person, and I don't give up easily. What I realized at the end was that I'd learned a great deal of information, knowledge that couldn't be gained any other way. This story does end in success, although it's not the kind of success I would have at first envisioned. It wasn't about walking up a mountain to kill a big buck. It was about realizing that I had figured out the key to blacktail hunting, and that is to never, ever give up.
Pretty quiet morning so far.
Decent frame on him. Definitely pretty excited to have him, so it's a good deal.
That's awesome, dude.
You done?
That's awesome, bro.
What do you think?
Very cool. Very cool.
And that suddenly disappeared. I've never been very good at doing something halfway in my life. I'm usually all or nothing, and this was no different. I have a tendency to take things to an extreme. If someone tells me I need 2 deer spots, I'll find 10 or 20. I scouted, I hiked, I worked out, I shot my bow, I shot my rifle, everything I could think of. It's late May and just getting started on my alpine blacktail scouting. The goal this year is to kill a big mature alpine blacktail.
Well, it's early July and out to do some blacktail scouting. It's about 5 o'clock in the morning and heading out solo in the backcountry for a day. Well, I'm not sure how much this is coming through on camera, but this is some of the worst bugs I've ever seen. My dog's sure having a good time. Man. So let's just zoom in on my leg here a little bit to see. Yeah, pretty bad. A lot moving around. One buck bedded on a far hillside. Clouds rolling in and out too far away for much video opportunity, but I got one camera up. I got to put one more up and then head back down, and that'll kind of wrap up this area until late August when I come back. Probably do a little bear hunting in here out when the berries are ripe and check my cameras and see what's going on. This area typically has a few decent bucks in it. Not a real dense deer population, but there definitely are a few in here that are worth pursuing, and this is the first year I've had cameras in here, so I'm hoping that I get a good idea to take a look at what's in.
I learned from my mistake of pushing one buck too hard and educated him that I needed to have more areas. I needed to have time to give certain animals a break and return to hit them later during the year. As the summer wore on, I began to spend more time in some of my key areas, and I turned up some pretty good bucks in the process.
Well, sitting up here on this ridge, and it's about the 5th buck I've seen this morning. This looks like a younger 3-point. Not something I'd be chasing, but still a cool buck to see nonetheless.